Mueller's chief FBI investigator and wife hid sex secret in garage to take out Trump. Robert Mueller and his pack of rats are running scared as his chief FBI investigator, Bruce Ohr, and his wife, Nellie Ohr, were just caught red-handed hiding a sex secret meant to take out President Donald Trump in their garage at their home in McLean, Virginia. This evidence is so explosive, implicating Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and James Comey, the mainstream media is refusing to touch this report. FBI Chief Investigator Bruce Ohr was handpicked by Robert Mueller to lead the bogus Trump-Russia collusion investigation, which is completely pathetic now that we know his wife, Nellie Ohr, is a top executive at Fusion GPS. Remember, Fusion GPS is the research firm hired by Hillary Clinton to obtain the fake Russian dossier, and it's that Russian dossier that the FBI used as evidence to gain FISA warrants to wiretap Trump's campaign. But that's just the tip of the iceberg with the Ohrs. It's reported after Fox News found out Bruce Ohr was having meetings with Fusion GPS during the presidential campaign. The truth came out that not only was he meeting with Fusion GPS, he is married to a woman who is working at Fusion GPS. However, the ongoing dossier story gets far more intriguing as it is now discovered that Bruce Ohr's wife, Nellie H. Ohr, actually worked for Fusion GPS and likely helped guide, script the Russian dossier, reports the conservative Treehouse. So, Mueller knows all this. He knows Bruce Ohr is married to the woman who helped write the fake Russian dossier. Mueller's investigative team is a hit squad meant to oust Trump. There's no doubt about that now. But wait, it doesn't stop there, reports the conservative Treehouse, adding, Mrs. Nellie Ohr was not only a Fusion GPS contracted employee, but she was also part of the CIA's open source works, in Washington, D.C. In other words, Nellie Ohr is a CIA spy. In fact, she is pictured with Ukrainian agents at some type of business meeting in May 2015, just as the 2016 presidential campaign was getting underway. It's an underreported fact that Hillary Clinton's campaign was colluding with Ukrainians. That's how they set up Paul Manafort. Now, here's where it gets really scary. A month after Hillary Clinton hired Fusion GPS, April 2016, to subcontract retired British MI6 agent Christopher Steele to write the opposition research report The Trump-Russia Dossier, Fusion GPS employee Nellie Ohr applied for a ham radio license, May 23, 2016, a communication tool that would allow Nellie Ohr and Christopher Steele the ability to communicate outside the normal risk of communication intercepts, reports the conservative Treehouse. Just pause for a moment to take this all in. Mrs. Nellie Ohr would know that using ham radio frequencies would be a way to avoid the risk of U.S. intelligence intercepts on her communications. The Clinton campaign hired Fusion GPS in April 2016. Fusion GPS then subcontracted retired British Intel MI6 agent Christopher Steele to write the Russian dossier. A month later, May 23, 2016, Fusion GPS employee Nellie Ohr gets a ham radio license. So, are we to believe it's all coincidental? All of a sudden, a woman, presumably in her 60s, decides to use a ham radio, which was reportedly seen in the Ohrs' garage, the month after contracting with Christopher Steele for a Russian opposition research dossier on Donald Trump. So, Robert Mueller's chief investigator, Bruce Ohr, is married to the CIA contracted spy who aided Christopher Steele in writing the Russian dossier. It was an inside job to destroy Trump by the Obama administration, signed off on by James Comey, who was then acting FBI director. Oh, yes, James Comey had to actually sign off on this. You see, it's a fact the FBI paid Christopher Steele for the fake Russian dossier because they needed to present evidence to the FISA court to wiretap Trump's campaign. That evidence, we now know, was the Russian dossier co-written by Nellie Ohr, the wife of the lead FBI investigator Bruce Ohr. You just can't make this stuff up. It is utterly unbelievable, this tangled web of lies, deceit, and corruption going on at the DOJ and FBI. If I read this in a book I'd say, no, this is too far-fetched. Yet, this is all true and easily proven. It was FBI agent Bruce Orr and FBI agent Peter Strzok who Comey had present the FISA application to the FISA court. The FBI director's signature must be on the FISA warrant application, and that's how we know Comey signed off on this whole illegal scheme. FBI agent Peter Strzok, who was working on this FISA scheme with Bruce Orr, is another one of Mueller's chosen investigators, who was fired back in July, Mueller claims, for sending anti-Trump text messages. That just doesn't ring true. Representative Jim Jordan says that's plain baloney. Mueller fired Strzok, and now, Orr is off the case, sent to the FBI's basement because the house of cards is coming tumbling down, and they will be the fall guys. Rep. Jordan raked new FBI Director Christopher Wray over the coals as he dodged questions about FBI agents Peter Strzok and Bruce Orr's role in obtaining the FISA warrant to wiretap Trump's campaign. The deep state is crumbling, and now, Obama, Hillary, and Comey are setting up fall guys so they do not have to go to prison. This illegal scheme is a real conspiracy, not just a conspiracy theory anymore. Mueller is a deep state operative who was called in to clean this mess up and finish off Trump. Instead, he made a huge mistake. He packed his so-called investigative team with all the same players who created the Russian dossier and got an illegal FISA warrant, and never in their wildest nightmares did any of the swamp creatures think this would all come out. Well, it's out. And it's time for Trump to fire AG Jeff Sessions and hire a real bulldog who will start an investigation into Mueller's deep state rats and drain the swamp until every last rat is flushed out of Washington, D.C., for good.